Hello guys, welcome back to TFD with another banger. It's look like massive roster changes for Caitlin Clark and the Fever incoming as they reload for a title run. For this one, let's go to Indy.
One of the most fascinating and honestly most exciting things about this upcoming CBA, when the deal finally gets done, is how it's going to shape the future of the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. Because once this CBA is signed, it's not just a financial document. It's the key that unlocks what the next few years of WNBA basketball could look like. And folks, let me tell you, what the Indiana Fever could become under this new deal might be absolutely wild. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. You already know what we do here. We break down the real stories, the ones that matter, and we connect the dots the mainstream media doesn't want to touch. So today we're diving deep, deep into what this Indiana Fever team could look like going forward. So right now, here's what we've got when we strip it all the way down to the basics. You've got Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Michaela Timpson. That's it. That's the list. Those are your three players currently under contract with the Indiana Fever as things stand right now. Three pillars, three pieces, three players that absolutely define where this team is heading. And yeah, I know we've talked about how this Fever team is going to look very different next season. There's no question about it. Injuries, player movement, roster turnover, all that is part of the equation. But with this upcoming CBA potentially expanding rosters to 14 players, things could change in a major way. If that happens, not only would it give the Fever more flexibility, but it would allow them to keep more of the young, hungry players who have been grinding all season long to prove they belong. And don't forget, we've got an expansion draft coming up too. That's going to be fascinating. Because with two new teams entering the league, the Fever will have to make some tough choices about who to protect. But honestly, when you've only got three players under contract, that's not really a big worry for Indiana. They're basically a blank canvas right now. Now here's where things get really interesting. Let's talk about Kelsey Mitchell. She's an unrestricted free agent, but here's the key part. The Fever can core her. That means even if Kelsey Mitchell is ready to walk away, even if she's looking around the league thinking she might want to go somewhere else, the Fever can still keep her by using that core designation. It gives them total control over whether or not she stays, assuming, of course, they're willing to pay her what she's worth. So if it were up to me, and you've been watching this channel long enough to know how I feel about this, I'd absolutely core her. No hesitation, because losing Kelsey Mitchell, the best shooting guard in the WNBA, would be a massive mistake. Then you've got Lexi Hull, who's a restricted free agent. That means she can go test the market, but the Fever have the right to match any offer she gets. And that's going to be an interesting one. If Lexi is smart, and trust me, she is, she'll go see what's out there. Maybe some team offers her a big deal to bring her in as a high-level 3-and-D wing. If that happens, it'll be up to the Fever to decide whether to match that number. And depending on how they're structuring the rest of their roster, they might say, you know what, Lexi, we love you, but that's too rich for us. Hopefully that's not the case, because I think she's a must-keep type of player, but that's how this business works. Then there's Chloe Bibby, who's a reserved free agent. That means the Fever can give her a 1-year unprotected deal, and she can't negotiate with other teams. It's basically a team-friendly situation because of the way her contract was structured last season when she signed for the remainder of the year. Everyone else, unrestricted. Gone if they want to go. We're talking about Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Howard, Ariel Powers, Ari McDonald, Odyssey Sims, and Brianna Turner. All of them unrestricted free agents. That's a lot of experience and veteran leadership potentially walking out the door. So when you really look at it, this Fever team is being stripped down to its core, and that's both scary and exciting at the same time. So now the big question, what should the Indiana Fever do? And again, let me just say this, I don't know if it's as bad for every other team, but there are a few franchises that are in similar or even worse spots when it comes to contracts. The Fever at least have a generational foundation, Clark, Boston, and Timpson.
So here's what I'd do if I'm sitting in that front office running the show. Core Kelsey Mitchell. Lock her in. Don't even think twice. She's one of the most explosive guards in the league, and her chemistry with Caitlin Clark is only scratching the surface. Re-sign Lexi Hall. She's a glue player, a hustle player who does the little things nobody else notices but absolutely wins you games. Bring back Sophie Cunningham. Yeah, I said it, because if you watch this season closely, Sophie was quietly one of the most efficient shooters in the WNBA. Whether it's true shooting or effective field goal percentage, she was right there at the top. She's gritty, she's fearless, and she fits perfectly next to Caitlin Clark. Now, those 6 players right there, Clark, Boston, Timpson, Mitchell, Hull, Cunningham, that's your championship foundation. Everything else, you build around it. After that, you go out hunting for the right fit players who understand their role, who can run, defend, and hit open shots. Because the Fever don't need more ball-dominant guards or ISO scorers. They need pace, spacing, and defense. Now, I want to focus on this for a minute because it's important. Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark, this is where the magic happens. You look at the way those two played after the Olympic break in 2024, and it was completely different from anything we'd seen in the first half of the season. Once Christy Sides turned Caitlin loose, said, "You're running the show, you're leading the offense, we're going up-tempo, we're pushing the pace, and the ball is in your hands all the time," everything changed. And that's the version of the Fever that fans fell in love with. That's the version that gave us glimpses of greatness. Kelsey Mitchell's post-Olympic numbers were insane. She actually averaged more points per game in that stretch than she did during her all-WNBA season the next year. That's wild. And here's the thing. When Caitlin Clark has the ball, when she's allowed to orchestrate, everything opens up for everyone else. Mitchell becomes deadlier because she's not forcing the offense, she's reacting. Boston gets cleaner looks inside, shooters get wide open threes, and suddenly you've got the most dangerous offense in the WNBA. That's not hyperbole, that's just facts. I don't care about Sabrina and Jonquel Jones, I don't care about Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum. When Caitlin Clark and Mitchell are on the floor together and the Fever are playing at their tempo, that's the best backcourt in women's basketball, period. If Indiana leans into that identity, if they go back to that post-Olympic version of themselves, fast, aggressive, fearless, you're looking at a championship team. And this is where coaching becomes everything. Because system-wise, the Fever can't afford to go back to that slow, grinded-out, half-court, old-school WNBA offense. No more off-ball Caitlin Clark, no more slowing the tempo down to feed a mismatched post. That's not how you win in this era. You win by putting Caitlin Clark on the ball. You win by letting Kelsey Mitchell attack from the wings. You win by letting Aaliyah Boston dominate the paint with space around her. You win by letting shooters like Hull and Cunningham do what they do best, stretch the floor and hit open shots. If you play like that, if you let Caitlin run the show full time, if you let her be the floor general she was born to be, you're looking at a top 3 offense and one of the most marketable, exciting teams in all of basketball. Forget men's or women's hoops, I mean basketball, period. Because here's the bigger picture. The Indiana Fever aren't just another WNBA team anymore. They're the team. They're the face of the league now. They're the team everyone tunes in to watch, whether you love them or you hate them. Caitlin Clark is already that kind of generational draw, but if the Fever surround her with the right pieces, if they let her play her game freely, they can dominate this league for years. Boston is the interior anchor. She's going to feast as teams stretch to defend the 3. Timpson brings athleticism and defensive versatility. Hull brings balance and toughness. Mitchell gives you firepower. Cunningham gives you shooting. That's a team that can go toe-to-toe with anyone. The Aces, the Liberty, the Storm, anyone. Picture it with me. It's 2026. The Fever are playing fast. The arena is packed every night of the game. Caitlin Clark is dishing out 10 assists a game. Kelsey Mitchell is lighting it up from deep. And Aaliyah Boston is averaging a double-double without breaking a sweat. Lexi Hall is flying around on defense. Sophie Cunningham is draining corner threes. And the Fever are running teams off the floor. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston, all three in the top 5 for MVP voting, all three first team All-WNBA, you think that's a stretch? It's not. It's absolutely possible if this organization finally gets out of its own way, lets go of the old school thinking, and embraces what made this team electric in the first place. So yeah, the CBA is coming, the roster decisions are coming, the offseason is going to be wild. And make no mistake about it, this is the most important offseason in Indiana Fever history. If they handle it right, this could be the start of a dynasty. If they fumble it, it could set them back years. But I'll say this, if they core Kelsey Mitchell, re-sign Hull, bring back Sophie Cunningham, and fully unleash Caitlin Clark to run this team at full throttle, the WNBA is not going to know what hit them. Championships are coming. Excitement is coming. History is coming. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who should the Fever keep? Who should they chase in free agency? Do you believe in the Clark Mitchell Boston core like I do? As always, appreciate you checking out the video. Smash that